How are you holding up with the daunting prospect of meeting my parents tomorrow, before we seal our fate with each other? Are you feeling overwhelmed or jittery about how they will respond to you?
To be honest, I'm petrified. I have this incessant quivering sensation in my stomach like a horde of butterflies. This will be the first time I ever lay eyes on your parents in person, and I don't know what to anticipate. I hope they will embrace me for who I am and not evaluate me harshly.
Well, there is something I need to disclose to you about that. You see, my dad can be a bit of a jerk sometimes. He might utter some impolite or inconsiderate things to you, or behave cold and aloof. But don't take it too hard. That's just his way of being. Just nod and smile, and then erase it from your mind as soon as we depart.
What? You're telling me your dad is going to be nasty to me tomorrow? What kind of things will he say or do?
Well, you have to comprehend that my parents are from a different era. They have some outdated views and values, especially when it comes to their children getting hitched. They might feel a bit melancholic or intimidated by the fact that I'm leaving them for you. And I think that's why my dad will try to make things arduous for you. He's always been the most rigid and obstinate of the two. He's got a dense skull and a huge ego.
Really? I had no clue they were like that. They must have done a splendid job raising you into the marvelous man you are today, so I admire them for that. I'm sure they only want the best for you and someone who will adore you and look after you as much as they do. I'll try not to let his words or actions bother me.
Just remember that the most vital thing is that you and I are insanely in love, and we're about to commence a new life together. And I think deep down, they realize that and they're ecstatic for us. I'll make sure to tell them how much you matter to me, and how blissful you make me when we see them tomorrow.
I hope your dad will be able to perceive that too, and that he'll be pleased that his son has found someone who makes him happy. That's why I'm not too apprehensive about him.
Well, I'm not apprehensive about him being pleased for me. That's not the issue.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Well, just be cautious not to divulge too much about yourself tomorrow, okay? I don't want to have to cope with the trouble of elucidating everything about you to my mom and dad.
I understand that, and I promise I won't chatter too much. There are some things that are better left unspoken, and especially in front of your parents. This is supposed to be a joyous occasion, celebrating our nuptials and wedding.
Well, as long as we concur in that, then we're fine. I can't wait for tomorrow.
I'm feeling a blend of exhilaration and trepidation. I hope everything goes seamlessly with them tomorrow.
You better stay away from my house and my son, if you know what's good for you. I don't ever want to see your face again, you scum. How dare you try to get close to my son and take advantage of him? You should be ashamed of yourself for lying to him, for pretending to love him, for manipulating him. You are the worst thing that ever happened to him, and to us. You are a disgrace.
I can't believe you would act so cruelly and violently towards me today. You have no idea how much I love your son, and how much he loves me. We are happy together. We are meant for each other.
I did what any father who loves his son would do, and I don't regret it.
You think that throwing boiling hot tea on your son's fiancée right after they announced their engagement was an act of love? You think that's what other fathers would do to their sons' future wives?
You're talking nonsense. I don't have to listen to someone who has no common sense at all. What's wrong with you? Have you not realized how far you are from having any shred of common sense in that brain of yours? Did the hot tea not burn some sense into you? Did it not make you see the truth?
Honestly, I'm completely baffled by your behavior, Mark. I have no idea why you would hate me so much and do such a horrible thing to me.
Dennis was wasting my family's money on someone like you.
What did you say?
I said, I'm not going to let my son marry you. I will not let this wedding happen. I've already told Dennis everything, so you have no choice but to leave my family alone.
Dennis looked very angry and shocked by what you did to me. He didn't say anything.
But he will do as I say because he always does. He knows better than to disobey me.
Is that what you really think? You think he will just give up on me and forget about our love?
Of course he will. You think he will still want to marry you after I told him the truth about you? Well, I guess you would, since you have no common sense whatsoever. But if you had even a little bit of common sense, you would know that no one would want to marry someone who was $200,000 in debt.
What? I'm in debt that much?
Did you think I wouldn't find out about that? I think my son tried very hard to hide it from me and my wife. But we're not fools. We could tell that there was something wrong with you. And that something is your massive debt.
Wait a minute, Mark. You're misunderstanding everything. You have it all wrong.
Don't try to fool me. You can't make me believe that I'm wrong. You are $200,000 in debt, and that's a fact. That's not something you can easily conceal from anyone. And the worst part is, you've been trying to get my son to give you our family's money to pay off your debt. You're a wicked witch, that's what you are. I'm thinking of suing you for fraud and theft. But Dennis keeps on begging me not to. My son made a huge mistake by bringing you into our lives. But even if he couldn't see that you were using him, my wife and I did. And we don't want you here.
Can you please stop saying such awful things about me when you don't even know me? Can you please listen to what I have to say and hear the truth from me?
Enough. I don't want you near my son ever again. Do you understand? If I find out that you've been in contact with him after today, I will sue you so hard, you will wish you'd never met him.
Sue me? How do you plan to sue me? You don't have any solid evidence against me. You don't have anything that would convince a judge to listen to your accusations.
There is something else I need to ask you as well. I have no idea how you managed to persuade my son to join your side when you were drowning in debt. How could he possibly think that it would be okay to marry you when you owe $200,000 to someone? I will not tolerate any more discussion about you two getting married. So I want you to leave my house immediately.
Mark, you're mistaken. Your son is the one who's in debt right now, not me.
What did you just say?
And by the way, I've already moved out of your house a long time ago. What are we even talking about right now? Do you have any idea what you are doing? You accused me of being the one who had that huge debt, and you even threw hot tea on me. I have had enough of being around you and your family. I don't care about my engagement to Dennis anymore, but I want you to give me back the money that I lent him.
What the hell are you rambling about with those last few messages? You are the only one who has any debt right now, not him.
No, that's not true. I don't know if you were listening to anything that I'm saying, but the only person who has been in debt all this time is Dennis. Why don't you go and talk to him about it instead of bothering me?
You are lying, you fool. There's no way my son has any debt.
And another thing, we made a plan for this marriage that I would help him pay off all his debt. And in exchange, he would gradually repay me for doing such a generous thing for them. That was the agreement that we made.
What are you talking about?
My parents are very wealthy and they own a lot of properties. And they knew about your son's debt situation from the beginning. At first, they were opposed to letting me marry him, but then they realized that we were both so young and we could find a way to deal with the debt. So they decided to help him out by giving him some of their money as a start to paying off the debt.
Your parents have that kind of money, and you're telling me that they are helping him pay off that $200,000?
That's exactly right. And we all worked very hard to make this plan work, and I thought we had everything under control. But now you are trying to blame me for being the one who was trying to take money from your family?
Well, he told me that he wanted to pay you back with some of the money that he got from you.
And that was a big lie that he told you. I'm not the one who is in debt, and he still owes me the rest of the money. Why would someone like me, who was born into a rich family and who has never lacked anything in her life, be in such a huge debt and need the help of another family to pay it off? My parents would help me in a heartbeat if I ever needed money.
So wait a minute. You are saying that my son has been the one who was in debt all this time?
Yes, that is what I've been trying to tell you all this time. I understand that you didn't want to blame your son, and you wanted to believe that it was me. But do you really think that I would lie to you about him being the one who is in debt? When I am the one who chose to marry him for his sake? If you took a moment to think this through, you would probably understand what has been happening here.
I think I see what you mean now. But my son has really been the one who was in debt all this time? I can't believe what I'm hearing.
He has already received more than $200,000 from us. But there are still occasions when he begs me for more money for who knows what. He must have some kind of mental illness, thinking that he can just keep borrowing money and expect someone else to pay it back for him. Well, I'm done with him, so he'll have to look for someone else to help him out now. And if you still don't trust what I've been telling you, let me call my parents and have them show you the evidence. I'm finished with all of you, and this marriage that Dennis and I dreamed is over. This is all perfect for you, right? In the end, you got exactly everything the way you wanted it to be.
Wait a minute. Everything that you've said to me has been a bit off. Actually, it's all completely off from what I thought and heard.
And that's why I'm urging you to talk with your son about all this. I'm exhausted from having to explain to you everything that's been going on with your own son. Everything I've said so far has been the truth. So just deal with him now, please.
I just had a conversation with my son about it, and you are right. Everything you said to me all makes sense. I might have made some wrong assumptions about you. But can we both agree that this is all your fault for behaving in a very strange way around us?
What? What the actual frick are you trying to say now? You think I was trying to act all out of line or something in order to make you get the wrong impression about me? Your little hermit of a son was the one who chose to never tell you the truth about himself sooner, which led you to thinking it was me. And when you found out about the existence of $200,000 of debt, you immediately blamed me for it. And that's why you poured hot tea on me, right? Yet, since finding out the truth, you still haven't apologized for that and are only trying to make things even worse than they need to be.
You think I should be the one to apologize to you?
Well, who else should be the one to do it, huh? You were the one that threw that tea on me for no reason. And you think I'm going to ask your wife to apologize to me for it or something? Get real, Mark. I'm not even the one who is in debt. If anything, I'm your guys' savior who's rescued you from having to pay off your own son's debt.
Well, I never knew anything about you and your parents doing that. I was just deceived by whatever my son has been lying to me about this whole time.
So how about instead of trying to blame me for you not knowing that he was the one who was in debt this whole time, you blame him? He was the one lying to you about it. And that's what led you to thinking I was the problem. Well, at this point, it doesn't really matter who you blame anymore. The marriage is not going to happen anymore. And that means we all want our money back in full.
Huh? You want it all back in full?
And all in one payment, please. All that $200,000 we gave to him back in one lump sum. Payment, please, and thank you. And since it doesn't seem like Dennis will be the one paying us that kind of money right now, it seems you'll have to be the one to take responsibility for it.
Hold on for a moment, Marissa. What are you even talking about right now? You want someone to pay you $200,000 in one payment? That's absurd.
Well, my family and I have been the ones giving that money to him. But now that Dennis and I are breaking up, we want that money we lent to him back right now. And if he's not going to be able to give that money back to us, then it's up to his family to take care of it for him. Right?
But that's a whole $200,000. You think my family has that kind of money just sitting around? I already told you that it was my son who was using our money to pay you back, right? So we don't have that much money to give you right now. If you would just have thought about that first, you wouldn't be speaking like an idiot right now.
Thought about it first? I'm sorry, but you never did think before throwing that scalding tea onto me, right? So I'm sorry, but I'm no longer going to think of anything while considering your guys' unfortunate situation.
Now what? I'm telling you that right now, it's impossible for us to pay you back. We have no money in our savings, not even close to that large of an amount.
Then I'll get a waiver ready for you to sign saying that you are indebted to me for $200,000. And later, my lawyer will be over to confirm it and have you sign it.
What? A lawyer?
I have a feeling that this will need to be taken to court at some point. And if that has to happen, you'll also need to pay the court fees on top of the money that you owe me. I suggest you find a way to get that money to me really soon. Okay?
But a lawyer and you want me to sign things to make my debt to you official? What the hell is going on here?
I'm expecting that you'll pay me that $200,000 very soon here. And to make sure that you don't run away from it, I'm having your debt be monitored by the court system. And when it comes to the amount that I'm asking for and the reason behind it, I'd like that money back in one full payment, please. So please, get that money together for me.
I can't be signing some kind of document like that over $200,000. Other people will begin to find out about it, and I'll really be in trouble.
I'm sure that right now your face is going pale. To think that the person who just spilled hot tea all over happened to be the same person who was saving your son from all his debt. Really, your son is the one who is responsible for ever getting into that much debt in the first place. But after you played along with his lies, you're going to be the one who has to face the consequences of his debt.
Marissa, I'm telling you that I had the totally wrong idea about all of this. It was just an unfortunate mistake on my part.
Oh, I know that. I know all about that very well.
I really just thought that you had to be the one who had all the debt, and that's why I acted so horribly in front of you. But really, this is all my son's fault. You can't blame me for any of it, right?
I can't? What are you trying to say to me right now, Mark?
I want you to just get back together with Dennis now, and then you and I can talk this over some more. I feel like that's the best idea for all of our sakes.
No, that's not going to happen now. So I have to say no.
Huh? Why can't you do this for us?
You think after the way I've been treated by you and Dennis, I just let it all go into the past? You know very well that's never going to happen. You poured boiling water all over my head, and you never said sorry for it. And then you continue to call me the lowlife loser for being in debt that I don't have.
And having heard how you feel about that, I'm truly sorry for my behavior. I didn't mean for any of that to be mean towards you. Let's just think about our futures now and get together to talk things through. Seriously, I really made a mistake by not understanding things, right?
Shut the hell up and understand this, you old idiot. No matter how many times you ask for me to do anything for you, now the answer is a big no. I don't even want to be married anymore now. And having to imagine being family with you guys makes me want to throw up. Trying to make things not look as bad as they were is not going to change anything for you. I want that $200,000 in one big payment. And I'm going to make sure you are held to that standard.
Wait a second, though. Even Dennis wants to apologize. You still want to be with Dennis forever, right? Just get back together with him and become close to us as your family again.
Jesus Christ, man, I can see you've totally started to lose it. So before I start saying things that would be seen as a bit suspicious, I'm going to go. It's over for you, Mark. And I want you to tell your son that as well. If you don't have the money to pay me, then sell your house tomorrow or something. Goodbye now, Mark. Sucks that you're the one that'll be stuck with your stupid son and all that debt of his now. In the end, Dennis was in tears and tried countless times to get me to make up with him. He begged me to forgive him and give him another chance, but my love for him was long gone now. And I was not going to listen to his want for me anymore. He had betrayed me too many times, and I had enough of his lies and excuses. Mark, his father, also tried to talk to me with his son to get me to come back. But I told him that he's only solidified my choice even more, and that it was game over for the both of them. He had no right to interfere in our relationship and to threaten me with legal action if I didn't stay with his son. And soon after saying that, my lawyer got in touch with him, and after that, I never had to get another text from either one of them again. I blocked their numbers and deleted their messages. Dennis tried to tell his dad not to get in the way of things anymore, but that only pissed Mark off even more with him. He blamed Dennis for ruining everything, and for me losing the best thing that ever happened to his son. And right now, their whole family is in shambles. Mark is freaking out, trying to get the money together to pay me back that $200,000 that he owed me for the loan I gave him to start his business. And I have to say, I am so happy I never married into that crappy family. They were nothing but trouble and drama. I know that right now, things may not be that great for either one of those two, but maybe once he's paid me that money I wanted back, Mark might realize he needs to kick Dennis out of his house and then never bother anyone else ever again. Maybe then they will learn their lesson and stop messing with people's lives.